A lot of people ask me how I can homeschool 4 kids, one of which has special needs and requires her to take multiple therapies throughout the week. Well, in this video, I'm going to share with you how I do it, and I also want you to know that this is a collaboration with Jamie over at Simply Living It. I'm going to put her channel down in the description box below, as well as a playlist leading you to all of the other lovely mamas who know what they're doing, because they do. Just trust me on that one, so check them out. In this video, I am specifically going to talk about how I have created a schedule to work around all the needs that need to be met for Naomi, and she's got a lot of needs, like therapies, a lot, and they're scattered throughout the day, so it's not like a consistent thing every day at 9 o'clock she has therapy. No, they're like scattered through the week. And all the other little things that she needs to help her become successful throughout the day, which take time, and we've had to rearrange our lives to meet her needs. That's just part of it, right? So let me share with you my tips. So number 1 is we have to keep some kind of routine. Now we have co-ops on Tuesdays and Fridays, and that is a great way to give yourself a little break, unless of course you're teaching at the co-op, and it's still kind of a break because you're not dealing with your kids. I mean, it's great to deal with your kids, but they're not your kids. You can just like give them back to their parents when you're done with them, but then you get your kids back. The other days, we've got Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, sometimes Sunday. Sunday's like kind of like a fun free day for us. We'll do history all day long, or we'll go on a field trip or do something like that. And Saturday we go to services. But those other days, those 3 other days, we do have a routine in place. Schoolwork has to be done by 2 o'clock, regardless of the situation. After lunch, we always do either dictation or spelling. Whenever we're in therapy sessions, I always work one-on-one with Hannah, who is in kindergarten. I'll talk about that later. My son, one of my sons, always has to start the day with piano. That's his personal routine. The other one likes to start their day with art. That's why we don't have a morning basket, and I probably should talk about why we don't have a morning basket in a later video. I will do that because that'll be a fun one to talk about, because everybody does morning baskets, but I don't. The next tip that I have for you is to keep it simple. Like, simple. Don't go out there and pick curriculum where you have to sit with your child for an hour explaining why you're using multiplication to answer this problem. Just don't make it hard on yourself. There is so much curriculum out there that you can just pick up and hand to your child, and they can work independently. There's a lot of really great computer-based programs, and if you can't sit behind a computer, like, there are workbooks out there that will really be thorough. And of course, sticking with what's important. You've got your language arts, math, science, and history, and then any extra type stuff that you do, like music lessons or art lessons. And you can actually do those inside of a co-op, which, you know, rewind the video a little bit and you'll see my opinion on co-ops. And that is a great way to give yourself a little break, unless of course you're teaching at the co-op, and it's still kind of a break. The next tip I have is to separate the subjects in groupings. And the groupings that I'm talking about is, hey, I'm gonna teach all my kids at once in this subject. I have to sit down with each individual kid in these subjects, and my kids can work on their own with these subjects. In our household, the group curriculums are science, history, and Bible, and dictation. Science, even little Naomi gets involved. She's got her hands in everything. She's grabbing balloons and strings. Like the other day, we did this experiment for a rocket, and we blew up the balloon, and Naomi was like all into it, thought it was funny, tried to mimic her brothers. I think it's really helping her with social skills and also some fine motor skills, because she does get her little fingers in there. 4, 3, 2, 1. And there's gonna be a video about sibling conflict, and I'll stick a link right up there once that video is out, because that's all connected. But history, we do history together, we read books together, and even though Naomi doesn't necessarily understand what we're reading, she'll curl up in my lap. I always like to give my kids popcorn when we read a book, so she'll eat and snack and drink and even play with puzzles as we're reading. And I think because of that, she has really developed a love for books, to the point where when I do have some one-on-one time with her, she'll curl up in my lap and bring a book that I have to read to her. Or even when we've been potty training, she sits on the toilet and she wants to read every single book that we have in the bathroom. And I think that has really, even though I'm not realizing it, she has established a love for reading, and her sister reads a lot to her. I know in the comment section a week ago, we did a video, and it was questions I answered about Naomi, and someone said, can she recognize letters? And I didn't think so, but then someone's like, wait a second. I'm watching her and I think she does. And this person had experience, in fact, it was a country life. She has a child with Down syndrome. So she has taught her son with Down syndrome how to read. So I've had to sit back and kind of think about that a little bit. And I've even started working a little bit with Naomi on how to recognize letters just by showing her the letter, making the sound. And I've also started watching Leapfrog, which I totally forgot about Leapfrog, but I've totally brought that out of the vault. And that's something that Naomi can do independently, watch a TV show while I work one-on-one with my other kids. So for teacher-led work, Hannah's really the only one that needs one-on-one with that teacher-led work. And that would be with her phonics and math, and she's in kindergarten. And here's the thing, if your kid's in kindergarten, you really only need an hour, 2 hours max doing schoolwork, like, writing and reading and math. And copy work and that writing stuff can be done independently once they get the hang of it. Now Hannah, she likes to sit for the full hour. I don't have to break hers up 15. My boys, I had to, because they got antsy after about 15 minutes, but Hannah can sit, the full hour. And so knowing that, we were able to sit her down during Naomi's therapy sessions and do all of her schoolwork, which has been super easy because it's done. And then of course Hannah does the work with her brothers when we get to the history, science, and Bible. Now she can't do the dictation, but she does like to sit down with a coloring book and listen to dictation as we go through it, which I usually use Bible verses, and that ends up turning into our Bible activity for the day because they start asking questions about the verses. So we're kind of killing two birds with one stone, even though I really like birds and I don't like killing them. And then there's the independent work, which is basically your math, your language arts, creative writing, all of that reading, silent reading type stuff. Yeah, okay, maybe there's some minimal teacher-led stuff, but I've picked out curriculum like master books and even IEW. There's a lot of independent work with IEW. Let me know in the comments below if you use that curriculum and how it works for you when it comes to independent versus teacher-led. Of course, spelling is teacher-led, but spelling is so quick. I read off the words, they write it. I can read the words and cook lunch or put away dishes at the same time. Actually, we do spelling after lunch, so put away dishes at the same time. The next tip I want to give you is teach your kids how to play with each other. It kind of happens naturally. Everybody wants to play with Naomi, but there is some sibling conflict. And so you have to kind of coach them through all of that. And like I said, there's a video that I did on that. But there has been moments where my daughter is reading to Naomi, like I mentioned before, and Naomi is responding to what she's talking about. And little Hannah is kind of a miniature therapist. She's always saying look at the green puzzle piece. Here's the green Lego. And she's really taken on that role as big sister, teaching Naomi her colors and her shapes, and I'm kind of lucky that I have that. But I think anyone could really get their siblings involved with each other's lives. In fact, when you homeschool, that's kind of what has to happen. You're a team. And all of my kids are more than willing to jump in there and help out. And each of them has something that they personally love to share with Naomi and teach her that's unique to their relationship. Like I said, Hannah likes to read books to Naomi, and also she likes to play doll. One of my sons, my son who plays piano, he likes to sit with her at the piano and say, "That's the note." My other son, his thing is art, drawing. He's not really, he likes to color with her sometimes. I really think he likes to share with her video games. But see, that's still bonding, I guess. But also at the dinner table, little things that Naomi needs to learn how to do, like hold a spoon properly. She's watching her siblings do it, and she's mimicking them. In a sense, it's homeschooling with multiples, with one that has special needs, is not necessarily more difficult. there's more love, there's more compassion, there's more patience. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to leave a comment down below and a thumbs up. It really supports our channel, as well as subscribing if you like our content. My name is Leilani. Check out some of our other videos around my face, and I will see you in our next video.